Once upon a time, in a small town near Des Moines, Iowa, there lived a man named Michael Turner. On the outside, his life looked complete. A steady job, a modest house, the same familiar routines day in and day out. But inside, Michael felt a deep exhaustion, tired of carrying the weight of yesterday into today. At 38 years old, he was stuck in a life he no longer recognized. The dreams he once chased were buried under a mountain of responsibilities, mistakes, and quiet regrets. Every morning, he drove the same road, worked the same hours, and returned home feeling hollow. He'd often find himself wondering, when did my life just stop moving forward? One crisp autumn afternoon, Michael was called into his manager's office. The words were simple, but they landed with the force of a tidal wave. "We're letting you go." Just like that, the job he had built his entire life around was gone. It felt like the ground had vanished from beneath his feet. A few weeks later, another pillar of his life crumbled. His relationship, which had been strained for months, finally ended. The arguments had long faded into silence, and that silence had stretched into an unbreakable distance. One night, sitting all alone in the quiet of his living room, Michael stared at the empty walls and whispered to himself, "I've failed at everything." That was his rock bottom. He spent the night packing old papers, awards, and photographs into a cardboard box. It felt like he was boxing up his entire identity, sealing away a life that was no longer his. One early morning, long before the town began to stir, Michael couldn't sleep. He needed to escape the suffocating silence of his house, so he went for a walk. The streets were deserted. The world was still. He found himself at a small local park where kids usually played, but now, in the pre-dawn glow, it was completely silent. He sat on a bench and just watched as the sun began its slow ascent. As the dark sky softened, turning from gray to a brilliant, hopeful gold, something inside him shifted. A simple but profound realization washed over him. The sun didn't care about yesterday's storms or clouds. It just rose anyway. In that quiet, powerful moment, Michael said something out loud for the very first time. Words that would change everything. "I don't need to fix my past. I need to release it." That day, Michael made a choice. He didn't promise himself overnight success. He didn't chase some illusion of instant happiness. He simply chose to forget everything that made him feel small and defeated. He stopped comparing his journey to everyone else's highlight reels. He stopped feeling the need to explain his failures to himself or to others. Most importantly, he stopped waiting for someone else's permission to change his own life. Instead, he focused entirely on what he could do today, right now. He started small. He cleaned his home, clearing out the clutter. He started updating his skills, learning new things online. He began applying for jobs, not with the fear of rejection, but with the hope of a new opportunity. Some days were incredibly hard. Some days, the loneliness felt overwhelming. But with every single step forward, no matter how small, he felt a little bit lighter. Months later, Michael found a new job. It wasn't perfect, but it was honest work that gave him a sense of purpose. He met new people, made new friends. He learned new skills he never thought he'd have. He started to smile again, a real, genuine smile that reached his eyes. He made a new routine. He started waking up early, walking to that same park, and watching the sunrise. Each morning was a reminder of his promise to himself. Every single day is proof that starting over is always possible. Years passed. Today, Michael stands in front of a small, dedicated team that he now leads. He is not the same man who lost everything. He's stronger, more resilient, not because he won some grand prize, but because he found the courage to let go. Once upon a time, Michael Turner believed his past defined his future. Today, he knows better. Life doesn't begin when everything is perfect. It begins the moment you decide to move forward, one step at a time. So if you're feeling tired, or broken, or lost right now, remember Michael's story. Forget everything that holds you back. Start fresh with one small, brave step. And let your next chapter be written by courage, not by fear. Because every great story, including yours, starts the exact same way. Once upon a time, someone chose to begin again. Thanks for watching. If this story resonated with you, please like and subscribe for more.